We know people are concerned about COVID-19, and we don't want people to be too worried. We want them to be empowered with the steps that they can take to protect their health and the health of their families. The symptoms of COVID-19 are very similar to influenza. An important difference, though, is that most of us do not have immunity to COVID-19, and there's no vaccination as there is with influenza. People can take steps right now to protect their health concerning COVID-19. The steps are the same as during every respiratory or influenza season, and they include things like using good hand hygiene, washing your hands frequently. When you're out and about, try not to touch your face with your hands, your eyes and your nose and your mouth. And if you do get a cough, use the armpit of your elbow to cough in your elbow, or use a tissue and throw that tissue away. And if you are ill, please stay home, knowing that many people do not have immunity to this illness. We understand that people are thinking about buying or wearing masks when they're out in public because they're fearful about COVID-19. But in fact, it's recommended that only individuals who are ill wear a mask, or individuals who are taking care of someone who's ill wear a mask. We need to be very careful to preserve masks for our healthcare providers who are out there on the front lines and need the masks to protect them. So as COVID-19 spreads in our area, it may be needed for public health, the Kitsap Public Health District, to ask people to stay home from large public events, or to ask employers to consider other solutions for their employees other than gathering at work. And we may ask schools to use different models for teaching rather than having children gather at school. And what you can do now really is to think about how you might change your routine if we ask for those changes in order to reduce the spread of the virus. Think about what you might do if the schools were closed, how you might handle your children during that time, and talk with your employer about what they're thinking about in case they have to close their workplace, and how you might have to change your routine to accommodate those things. We know this is a stressful situation. And I urge everyone to think about the people in their lives, those who also may be experiencing stress and concern about underlying conditions and their risks. Please reach out to them and show compassion to individuals who become ill, and think about those who may need some assistance to stay home when they do become ill, whether they need help with grocery shopping or they need help with kids who are staying home from school. Please consider your neighbors and your family members who may need a little bit of extra help.
First of all, I just want to tell the entire county how grateful Kitsap County is for our Kitsap County Public Health District. They're doing a remarkable job. We believe in them, and please listen to them. You see the website, you can get all information every day, updated every day. Watch the rumors and just listen to your health district and CDC, and be kind to each other.